Game number 1 between CB Stonk Squad and Capedogs Unleashed. My name is Mr. Moose and I'm joined by Kendo here today, getting ready and starting just a little late here in this draft, Kendo, but already CBS and CBU are underway, getting things started with some bans. Misfortune and Kha'Zix banned by CBS, and then Karma and Akali going to be banned out here by CDU.
It doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, we discussed last week how the Kha'Zix, an 81% win rate for Kaidakira. That being said, doesn't usually bode very well in team play. It's a solo play dominant character, so a respectful ban right here. They want to make sure that the jungle has as much opportunity and influence as possible.
Exactly, and so they're going to be able to take that out. So no assassinating bug here today. Aurelia and Senna are going to also be banned out as well. Pretty standard picks, especially with what we've been seeing out of CDU. They have been able to do really good work here with that Senna on the stream, or not on the stream, but just in general. Or I'm sorry, CBS Senna in general. And then on the other side of that one, you know, we got Aurelia, pretty solid top lane or mid lane champion, going to get banned out, going to deny a little bit coming in from Darth Kylo Ryan and from Daze. However, that does leave the Trundle open, and Trundle does get picked up for CBS, and the immediate follow-up and pick over for J4 and Lulu coming in from CDU.
Another one that doesn't surprise me. I was going through looking at the players for this CBS squad, and all three of the bans that we see coming out of Capedogs are respect bans. 3 characters that their individual players have 70% or more win rate upon. The Akali, a 70% win rate for Barbar Jonks. A Sussy Waka coming in with a 71 on the Karma. And then the Senna, as we mentioned before, 70% for No Name. Insane to think that there are players regularly playing these characters and having that much success.
Exactly, and so with that Akali banned out, it does kind of limit, like you said, these are respect bans, I think, coming in from both sides of the court. Yodalicious doing really well with the Misfortune, and then we talked about the Aurelia before. However, and that actually brings up a good point. Auction going to be the second pick for CBS, along with the Lilia. We've been seeing a little bit of Lilia top recently here, but just want to point out Vex, well, the champion has been released. Not going to be available here today, and thank God for that. Vex is just too fun on the Rift right now.
Something that does surprise me, however, the lack of a Tristana pick or ban in the early portion here. The 60% win rate for both No Name and Yodalicious on the Tristana. It's been throughout the regular season a pick or ban scenario. In fact, 50% of the games played throughout Light League have been either pick or ban Tristana to a high success rate, 55% win rate when Tristana is on your side of the Rift. So we are going to see Jhin as a ban, as well as the Victor. Barbar Jonks taking the Darth Kylo Ryan 57% Victor. Definitely a comfort pick there for Ryan. And we're also going to see the Janna going. That's yet another one that Sussy Waka is very successful with.
So, I mean, for CDU, I think they're thinking that Auction is going to be here in the mid lane with the Lilia top and then the Trundle. So they're expecting that it's going to be a different setup here coming in from CBS. Now, they can put the Auction in the bottom lane, and I actually wouldn't be too unhappy with that one. I think that he does really well in the bottom lane. He needs that support. He needs that CC to be able to continue to keep things going throughout the early game, because he definitely needs the help. But looking at the rest of the draft, you know, the Jhin going out, going to be one of those late game carry champions that Table has done well with, denying that, making sure that the Ashe is going to be able to have dominance here in the bottom lane. You want to be able to go for that wombo combo that the CDU is kind of drafting for. They've got the Cataclysm into the Wild Growth, into the Enchanted Crystal Arrow to get a lot of CC if they're able to catch somebody out. And then on top of that, Fear Beyond Death as well. Really good for the Urgot here in the top lane, which does mean that we do get the Darth Kylo Ryan pick in the response for for. It looks like a Talia coming through in the mid lane. I'm super pumped, Kendo. Oh my God, Talia's my girl. I'm so happy.
This is going to be extremely interesting because you look at this draft, you may even see Lilia traveling different areas. The Trundle could go just about anywhere. You may just see, I've heard of support Trundle. I've never seen it experimented with. That may be the thing. Talia could be a jungle, could be a support, could be mid, could be anywhere. They're just flexing right now. The only thing I'm pretty sure on more than anything else, that Hecarim's going to the jungle. The Hecarim on Neosword, 63% win rate. So it's one of the few respect bans they were not able to get out because there's so many for this Stonk squad.
Oh, we got the horse gang ready to go for a CB Stonk squad. Let's get those hashtag horse gangs here in the chat. Maybe not yet, actually. Actually, maybe not yet. Let's wait and see if CBS is actually able to pull this off. No hashtag horse gangs unless they win the game. We got to see whether or not Neosword will be able to make that happen. I also want to point out, guys, chat, I'm sorry. I just want to add the L in Yodalicious's name. I know it's not Yodalicious. I know. I'm trying to remember. It's Yodacious. I'm sorry to Yodacious. I appreciate your patience, but I gotta tell you, one of these days he's gonna go for a pentakill or something, and the Yodalicious is just gonna come out. It's just too tasty, man.
We're not judging you at all. No, it's perfectly fine. But we are definitely gonna set you up with the AM grind decaf next time. That way we make sure we're not making wild references to Yodalicious. Who calls them that?
I do. I've called him that several times in this. I've called him that several times in this particular draft, Kendo. We're not even into game one, and I cannot say it correctly. However, regardless of what is going to, what Yodacious's name is, we want to point out the big elephant in the room when it comes to CB Stonk Squad. These are games that they need to win. Now, looking at the rest of today's matches, VBU Neon unfortunately having to forfeit here. They're not going to be able to go in, and so that does give 3 wins to Team Ambition Golden Age right off the top. That's going to put them at, I believe, 8-13. So really massive coming through. Big win, or not, or I guess, big FF, I would say, because not only does that put VBU Neon down in 8th, which pretty much eliminates them from the game or from the playoffs.
Very close, yeah.
They've got now the open door for CB Stonk Squad to stay consistent with Team Ambition Golden Age and potentially take a game off of them or take a game above them if they are able to get the 3 wins here today. So really important for CB Stonk Squad to get these wins. Getting swept here could mean disaster for their chances to make playoffs.
Very much so. But they are a team that has their fate in their own hands. I don't want to look ahead too far, but next week they are going up against that Team Ambition Golden Age squad that they do have a game on right now. Granted, they're going to need to win 2 here to at least break even with them for their fate to still be sealed in their own hands, a win and you're in type scenario. They also have VBU Neon in week 9, so it's a very gracious end of the season where CB Stonk Squad could win out and put themselves right in the pathway, the golden picture for the playoffs. You like what you see. That being said, Capedogs, you get a series win here, you're pretty much sealed the deal to be in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is a big day for Capedogs Unleashed as well. I mean, it all really boils down to where, 1 through 5 actually plays out here. I think, with the 4-game winning or the 4-game, pardon me, I don't know my math, the 3-game advantage that Capedogs has along with the bye, they're pretty much confirmed that spot in playoffs now. solidify maybe a fourth or a third seed, maybe, depending on how Generous Ascension plays out. Gonna be a pretty fun matchup, regardless of whether or not we see the Capedogs or CB Stonk squad win. It does look like we are about ready to begin the game. We do have to go for that delay, though. So we're going to be back in about 3 minutes or so. We'll be back before you know it. Capedogs Unleashed versus CB Stonk squad coming up in just a moment. Hello, everyone, and we are back. Welcome to the Light League, folks. Game number 1 between CB Stonk Squad and the Capedogs Unleashed. My name is Mr. Moose, and we've got Kendo here as well. We were talking about it on the break here, Kendo. Pretty interesting drafts, I would say, coming in from both players.
Yeah, to say the least. You have some questionable draft picks, but I actually like some of the synergies that you are going to get from it. Ashe, Urgot, very good as far as making sure that you do have the Fear After Death come through on the Urgot. You're going to have J4 all over the place causing havoc. I like the Trundle action bot lane. The fact that you can slow everything down and Action's going to be able to hit some of those Qs. Brilliant stuff. So is it questionable? Kinda. That being said, this troll might literally be trolling.
Might literally be trolling indeed. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that, man. I am just really excited to see whether or not they are able to make it happen. I'm excited to see whether or not they will be able to take this game. You know, and we were talking about it earlier in the draft, just so important coming in from both of these players in what this means for them throughout the day. Really, really nicely done. I would say if CDU is able to potentially take this win, we know how important it is going to be for them. We were talking about it earlier in the draft. So again, emphasizing it again, any sort of losses, any sort of bad set that we get to see out of the CB Stonk squad is going to put them in the danger zone for not being able to make playoffs. Does look like we are getting a bit of a pause here, Kendo. So hopefully things will get taken care of fairly soon. We can kind of take a look at the keystones and the runes while we wait. Interestingly enough, actually, Sussy Waka on the Trundle, no items.
Yeah, that was one of the things why I said that literally the troll might be trolling, because there were no items on this Trundle. Granted, that might also be where the pause is coming from. They might have tried to grab items and there might be some sort of error. Although we are right back into it. This literally might be a troll job.
I don't know, man. This is a little rough, a little sus from Sussy Waka.
Very sus, very sus.
You know, and that's one of the issues I would say, in regardless of not having that, that's going to be one of the issues here for the CB Stonk squad lineup. That's going to be a big play for, you know, CDU if Talon and Yodacious are able to get off to an early lead. You know, Table on that auction needs help. He needs to be able to keep things going, or to get things going into the mid game, into the late game, where he starts getting those really powerful hits. He's not going to have that available, and that's something that we've seen drafted across the Rift here. Same thing with the Hecarim, same thing with the Talia, same thing with the Lilia, and then you have a support Trundle on top of that. Just a rough game for sure, as we already see that pressure coming in from Yodacious and Talon.
I mean, okay, you know, I'm an ingenuity-laden individual who loves to see avant-garde and abstract. But I'm still trying to get inside the mind of Sussy Waka, as they are really struggling so far in the bot lane. The not grabbing any items, really punishing this bot lane. Then the fact that Sussy Waka is the platinum for this squad, so it's not like a noob maneuver. So something has to be on purpose here, as we're seeing Booty Bang and Billy getting days, but just not quite getting out. Mercy! I thought for a second there the deer was gonna get away.
Not this time. Very nicely done, as it does look like we are getting a little bit of action here in the bottom lane as well. Looking back at the top lane yet again. Oh no, Neosword gonna be able to take that off. Nicely done there. Great performances coming in from the rest of CB Stonks, or from CDU. Booty Bang and Billy falling short early in today's game.
Yes, early and often. So I do love myself a little bit of back and forth on the Rift, and thus far we do have exactly that. Top lane going to be very interesting. Sasiwaka has done a great job of sustaining throughout all this, so it could fool me.
Could fool you, he says. Pretty rough performance, though. I think, unfortunately, you know, with the Lilia, you want to be able to get going as quickly as possible. You want to be able to keep things up. You want to be able to keep things moving. And so any sort of issues where you have in the early game where you're not able to get going early on, it is definitely bad news bears. But at the end of the day, you definitely want to check out this Urgot. He is putting in work. Days again, looking to go up against Booty Bang and Billy, almost taking him down, and now almost dead, gonna have to walk away. Man, Lilia is not having a fun time.
I'm starting to wonder if Sasiwaka actually does have items. This is becoming extremely interesting to me. We're gonna check out the mid lane for a moment here, and No Name and Ryan have just been farming extremely well. The back and forth has been stellar, and I am of interest to see how No Name rocks the Talia. Normally, really liking characters like Akali, but the AP is there.
Yeah, and so I do want to confirm that actually it is not a troll coming in from the troll. Sasiwaka does have items, did pick up the steel shoulder guards, does have boots and a cloth armor right now as he's running back in the lane. Kendo, I know you know, I know it, everyone knows it. When the patch comes through, when any sort of update comes in, I don't know what it is with the Observer, man. It just not a good time, for lack of a better word. But it does look like that is what he's got on the screen. Definitely want to keep that in mind, though. But overall, though, a very tame first couple of minutes here in the bottom lane. Not really too exciting, despite the late game pressure, or despite the early game pressure that this Ashe and Lulu could have.
Yeah, really, the sustain has been remarkable. The only thing that they are lacking down in that bot lane for How I Met Your Table and Sasiwaka is that damage. Action not necessarily known for expertise in putting out the heavy damage. Definitely a nuisance. Definitely something that can sustain and keep the pressure going. But thus far, they haven't been able to leave too much of a mark.
Despite not having Prio in the bottom lane, actually, with the minions kind of pushed up, it is going to be CDU that's able to pick up the first dragon of the game, Katakira, down there. And, you know, that's one of the powers of having the J4, getting that armor shredded, just having the ability to be able to get places really quickly, along with his EQ combo, being able to use the banner to not only get that extra ability or the attack speed, but then also that extra movement. You're gonna be able to pick up the first dragon of the game. It is a Ocean Soul for the second pick here. Regardless of that, other than that, you know, fairly interesting to see whether or not the Urgot is gonna look to be in trouble, actually. Oh, dueling it out against Booty Bang and Billy, and Booty Bang and Billy will end up going and taking that kill onto the Urgot.
Now, I did mention earlier how there was a match for Booty Bang and Billy where Booty Bang and Billy did pop off on Lilia. It was a 16-3-7. That was against an Urgot just a couple weeks ago. So this is going to be very interesting. Can Booty Bang and Billy replicate what we saw a couple weeks ago against a Urgot of a different variety?
Against an Urgot of a different variety, for sure. Days, you know, putting in work throughout the Light League, I would say. But, you know, for CDU has been really stable in the top lane. But it does look like we are getting a little bit of trouble here in the mid lane. Taking a look at whether or not Kylo Ryan will be able to survive a potential gank. No, Neosword going to walk away. Neosword going with the Flash Smite. Or I'm sorry, the Smite Ghost. No Flash coming in from the Hecarim.
Not quite, but it's an interesting development. It's pretty standard, of course, for Hecarim. You want to go fast. The Sonic the Hedgehog feel without the full-on Rammus ball, if you know what I mean. So Neosword definitely looking good so far. Gonna have to counter this invade, though. Urgot was taking a small glance in.
Uh-oh, now, unfortunately, Katakira is there into the Cataclysm, just annihilating the horse. And that is going to be the second neutral objective of this game, going towards CDU. Going to be able to pick up not only the first dragon of the game, but then also this Rift Herald.
Yeah, that was not a good go for Neo Sword. They will wish they had that one back. And now, even further behind the Jarvan, who has jungle priority, who's going to be going for a potential gank in the top lane. But Booty Bang and Billy noticed that early, sent a swirl lead down.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, though. You got to make sure that you plant the seeds to your future, and it needs vision in that. Oh, Darth Kyle Orion dropping that Primordial Burst onto No Name. The Talia going to go down. And while we got you here, folks, we do want to talk Neo Sword looking like he's going to lose that Gromp here as well. Want to talk about the Spectator. Take a look at the top of the screen, where it says 6-4. It is not 6-4. It is 3-2. And if you look at the gold that both these teams have gotten, have that gold, and you've got how much gold the teams actually have. So 15K going in for CDU, 14.1 coming in for the Stonk squad. Man, Rito, please. Can we get some Rito pleases in the chat? My word.
Stonks of a different variety, my friend, and that is something that I personally love to see. The problem is, it's all faux numbers. It's all really Mundo doing what he pleases with the board, turning it upside down and calling it good.
All right, taking a look here. Again, bottom lane. Pretty tame still. There is a pretty decent advantage in terms of CS, but we do get a Weaver's Wall coming through, but it is a mistake. Oh no. Talon taking the kill. Unfortunately, that Weaver's Wall gonna hop on the wrong side of it and get hit by the turret.
So far, this game really playing out in favor of Capedogs. Capedogs never necessarily the team that has dynamic numbers offensively. They're not always going for the kill, but they do an amazing job of sustaining themselves, making sure that they make safe plays in given circumstances, and they force their opponents to make mistakes, a lot like you saw right there. That being said, I think you probably could have made a much better selection, just like Booty Bangin' Billy makes a real good one on Daze. And we're gonna have some action in the bot lane as the Rift Herald will take the mid tower down a few plates.
Yeah, that's a really hefty damage coming through, from the Riptail. Katakira dropping that immediately, going down to the Dragon, picking up Dragon number 2 for CDU. Top of that is also going to be able to pick up now a Cloud Soul in this matchup here. In terms of Cloud Soul and its power, if we do get to a point where CDU is able to get to that Cloud Soul, Wild Growth is going to love that. Extra movement speed for Talon, extra repositioning for Ryan and Yodalicious. I'm going to say it again, Yodacious. Pardon me, Yodacious as well. So a decently good soul here coming in for CDU. They have 2 dragons.
Coming to a place near you, Moose gonna be doing some parody songs, ye ol' Weird Al Yankovic style. Dusty Waka gonna be going in on Yodalicious, does not quite get him. Here comes Katakira with the counter attack. Does use the ult, however, for the disengage, and all will be fine despite the burning room.
Yeah, Waka, unfortunately, losing both of his summoner spells in that play. Cataclysm, a small price to pay there. Katakira being able to come in and make sure that Yodacious is fine. Did have to use heal in that exchange, but yet again, a really good counter engagement coming in from Katakira, making sure that Table and Waka continue to have issues here. We got Ryan, though, in the area. Nice knockup coming through from Katakira, putting in the Primordial Burst, and Akira is going to be able to take that kill. Another good play coming in from the from the jungler here. This time in the bottom lane. Maybe looking to go for more Kendo. as we get to see Talon on the way, not going to decide to go for it, and instead picking up several turret plates.
Yeah, and Urgot gonna get away with one here. It's been a losing battle thus far for days against Booty Bang, and Billy will finally get the best of it, as well as the turret plate in the top lane. Bot lane getting very spicy, though. Here comes the Hecarim. Will force the disengage. There is well, no, there is not a dragon coming up. They can position themselves very well for something down the road. They do get the dragon, and I'm interested to see how...
Oh, Kendo. Regardless, Kyle O'Ryan actually going to go on a killing spree there. That is now the third kill of this game for Kyle O'Brien, and that's what you get when you're up against a Taliyah. 0-3-0. I mean, really, unfortunately, got nerfed as well, or is getting nerfed as well here coming in this next patch. Now looking to be able to get out of this one. It's going to be the unstoppable slot coming through. A lot of damage onto the Hecarim, but it's not going to be enough. The shutdown is there for Booty Bang and Billy, making a nice roam and picking up a hefty 600 gold.
I'm not gonna lie, the broken spectator form is playing with me so badly. It's almost like everyone's a Tryndamere right now. They're just staying at 0 health, no worry at all, and then they respawn, and all is not correct. These two teams really going in on each other thus far. The better of it has thus far been to those of the Capedogs, and they are finding themselves with a small advantage in just about every lane, as well as in the jungle. That being said, it's not an overwhelming lead. There's still 100% chance that this Stonk squad can turn things around. They'll just have to make sure they're properly investing.
Right now, I mean, there is a good investment coming in from Booty Bang and Billy, picking up that Leandri's Torment, or Leandri's Anguish. Cataclysm gonna come through into the Gore Drinker. Fear Beyond Death is going to land, but it's not quite within range on this Lilia. Oh no, what is Booty Bang and Billy doing? He's gonna end up going right back into the Event Horizon, gonna get stunned, dazed, confused, and destroyed by Daze, as Darth Kyle Orion has another nice roam, picking up 2 kills for the Capedogs. And again, keeping this lead in their favor, up by about 2,500.
And No Name in the wrong place at the wrong time. You don't go back right in and give this Vigar another kill. 6-1-1 for Vigar. Kyle Orion is unstoppable. We were talking about earlier, just before the game started, how important this Vigar is, just because of the late game. The insurance is there. This is a well-fed Vigar who is now getting the first turret. We're seeing the summoning of the Rift Herald as well. This is going to be bad news in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's going to be able to get that headbutt, and that was a tactical decision coming through from the Capedogs. It's going to make sure that they are going to have priority for this dragon, because Neosword, he had to be there, smite it down to make sure that there wasn't any extra turret damage going to come through out of that one. As we do get another play coming in, Flash going to be used by Waka to be able to get away from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but very close to getting that kill. It is Cloud Soul at 17, or Cloud Soul Point at 17 minutes in for the Capedogs.
This is going to be very interesting, as we do see How I Met Your Table going in, but Yodacious has the blockage with help from the Lulu. They are in grave danger now, but the counter gank going to come in. No Name will get initial damage. Darth Carlo Ryan on the run. Kaidakira comes in with some, and this may go down. They have to retreat. It's a 2-for-1, and Daze may be doing some extra work in the top lane.
Daze does not have Fear Beyond Death as right now. Booty Bang and Billy already used his ultimate. Lilting Lullaby is there. Days maybe looking to go in for something here, but take a look at the bottom lane, Kendo. Yodacious keeping the pressure going against Waka, allowing for the extra momentum to come through, but that is not where the blood is spilling. Budibang and Billy going to win that play in the top lane, being able to secure another kill there for this Lilia. Now, Kendo, before I bring it back to you, if you guys can see right now, you've got a little bit of an issue coming in with the items. You've got Leanne, you're not going to be able to see them, so I'm going to kind of show you where we're at right now.
Tell me about them.
Leandry's Anguish going to be pulled in by Budibang and Billy, along with the Divine Sundra, ready to go for the Hecarim. And then beyond that, we've got Immortal Shield Bow coming through from the auction. You're going to be able to get that first item along with boots. But that is 4 mythic items right now for CD Stonk Squad. And it looks like from what Optimize is telling me, our producer, we are going to just take a quick intermission here. We're going to try to see if we can figure out what's going on with this Spectator. And we should be about ready to come back in just a moment. We'll see this fight here. Boogie Bag and Billy going to go down. And we'll die. So Yodacious is going to pick up that kill. But like I said, Kendo, we're going to take a quick intermission, try to see if we can figure this out, and we'll be back in just a second.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Perfect. All right, guys. Appreciate your guys' patience there. It does look like we are back on the Rift and back with the items showing. Appreciate to our producers here. Optimize making things happen, but it does look like we are getting right into another battle here. A lot of damage going to come through onto this Talia. No Name not having a good day, but Kylo Ryan will go down. Akira going to be left in the Cataclysm all on his own as the fight continues. Table is the target, but will not die just yet as we get to see. And now Sussy Waka, oh no, is going to say sayonara. Days picking up another kill there, making it a 2-for-1.
Finally, nobody has a Tryndamere. All the deaths are actual deaths, and everything makes sense again in Kendo's brain. Probably a good thing, but well, speaking of not so good, here we have the push here in towards the Baron pit. I don't like what is going on here. Kaidakira gonna have to get out. Wisely does so. They are definitely clearing away some of these wards, but I don't know that they're gonna get full-on pressure the way that they would like to. And they're gonna need to get a pick here somewhere, the CB Stonk Squad, in order to try to change the momentum. This next dragon gonna be very important. The next Baron of the utmost importance, because if you go down to one, chances are the other's going down as well.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for them if they're going to be able to bring this game back. CB Stonk Squad, unfortunately, down by 7 kills. It is a 5,000 gold lead. But this isn't the worst situation for CB Stonk Squad to be in. They have the late game carries that are available to them. I mean, unfortunately, No Name at this point, let's be real here. No Name is not going to be the carry that the Stonk Squads are going to be looking for. They're going to be looking to Table. They're going to be looking to Billy to be able to get that damage in those fights and be able to get good, really good lilting lullaby from Billy could really put them into a good situation. And then this auction 0, 1, and 2 needs to be able to be pretty aggressive in terms of his ability to take shots and get those revives coming in. But it looks like a fight is going to come out. It looks like the Trundle, Waka trying to come through, is going to put the Subjugate onto Kaidakira, but it's not going to matter. The Wild Growth is there, and Waka will go down. It is a slaughter against the Stonk Squad as Yodacious takes a double kill right as the dragon spawning. That is a 22-minute Cloud Soul.
Yes, indeed. And this is bad news because, as we mentioned before, they are going straight to Baron with the priority on it. And in all likelihood, they will have that one near in the bag. We just had a straight up victory.
Yeah, that's an FF coming in from CB Stonk Squad, Kendo. They do not think that they can win this game. They were not prepared. It is Illidan Storm Rage coming through and saying absolutely no way. That is a win for CDU.
Wow. Yeah, that is my first forfeit on stream as well. I did not know that this could come to full fruition. So, not Stonks here in game number 1 for the Stonk squad. They are going to want that one back, and that is for sure. I'm interested to see how everything goes going forward. But you take a look at the statistics. Darth Kylo Ren doing so well at just being a mainstay throughout, kept the pressure on the entire time in the mid lane. And once they actually took that mid turret, the snowball had been complete. It was borderline unbeatable. You cannot let that Vygar get that far ahead that early.
Oh, definitely the MVP of this game, Darth Kylo Ryan, at 1.6-1 in the contest, had a massive lead against this Taliyah that did not work out. And really, I mean, had this been a different game, and had we seen maybe a different lineup coming through from CB Stonk squad, they might have been able to have a little bit of competition here in the early game, where the Taliyah did not work out in the mid lane. It was like a 0-7, and I can't even remember, but I mean, it was like not good for this Taliyah. Had that really poor gank in the bottom lane that ended up costing her life yet again. And you can't just let a Vygar free farm. It just puts yourself into such a bad position. And it's going to be a victory here for CDU. Capedogs Unleashed now with the first win of the game and of the day. Very nicely done indeed. That's going to give them one extra win on their form, on their standings, and, you know, get to some prime position to potentially work for game number 2 here in just a moment.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to exactly that. Oh, mercy. Well, this is going to get very interesting, because the amount of momentum that the Stonk squad was able to procure, to lose here, the Capedogs were able to procure, is monumental. So I don't know what you have to change. You're definitely going to have to clear the mindset completely. Because if you look at the modus operandi of what they had in this first match, you didn't really have much going for you anywhere. Neosword performing probably the most valiantly, along with Booty Bangin' Billy, on your 4 cloven hooved monsters there in the top and jungle respectively. And they really didn't get too much on their prospective laners, their prospective opponents. They never really had anyone for this CB Stonk squad who ended up being ahead, and that's problematic.
Right. And I mean, at the end of the day, it is just a win there for CDU. Congratulations again to CD Stonk squad to be able to get themselves this victory here today. We're going to take a quick break before we jump into our next game. So we'll be back before you know it. Light League resuming momentarily.